In the world of points and miles, things are always changing. There are new cards that come on the market, and there are old cards that suddenly go away. Sometimes we get some warning on that. They'll tell us, well, we're going to discontinue this card in X amount of months or whatever it may be. But sometimes the warning is very, very short. In other words, it's going to go away in just a few days, or sometimes there's no warning whatsoever. It just goes away. And so what I want to talk about in this video is the importance of having a strategy for your credit card usage and being able to ascertain, to determine which cards you need to get when they're still available. So if you would, please hit the like and subscribe button and let's discuss it together. So my credit card setup is broken up into several sections. I call them wallets. And there are physical wallets associated with each of these, but it's really more of a way to determine the difference between different categories of cards. I have my travel wallet, or my backpack wallet as I often call it. And that is a wallet that I just keep in the drawer until we're going on a trip. Then it goes in the backpack. And it has things like hotel cards for status. It has things like airline specific lounge cards. So if we want to get into the AA lounges or United lounges or whatever it may be. And it also has cards that give me special perks when we travel, like our American Express Platinum card that gets us into certain lounges that we might need or use while we're traveling. So that is my backpack wallet. Those are cards that don't get a lot of spend on a regular basis. Then I have a wallet that's dedicated to cards that I just don't use all that often. So I call this my desk drawer wallet. So these are cards that I just pull out maybe once a year, maybe once a quarter, because they have some specific perk. Like for instance, hotel cards that have a free night certificate associated with them. So I don't use the card very often at all, if ever, but I like the specific perk that I get on that card, and maybe I need to use it very infrequently. So that's kind of my desk card setup. Now, the one that gets the most usage is my spending wallet. This is the wallet I actually carry with me every day. These are cards that I use on a regular basis all the time, day by day, going through buying gas, buying food when I'm eating out, buying groceries, buying other things throughout my day. And it has cards that are dedicated for like catch-all. That's my Built Palladium card because I'm getting well over 3 points per dollar on every single dollar I spend. But then it has cards that are dedicated to get even more than that in specific categories. Like it has a gas card, it has a home improvement store card. Both of those give me 5X. It has a special card I use when we go to the grocery store that's not a Walmart or a Target, and that gets 5X. And then I have a 5X dining card, and then on Friday and Saturday nights I have another card that gives me 6X in dining. So in all of those different categories, I have different cards that are kind of specific tools for that usage case. What's really interesting about my wallet is all of the cards I use except for 2 of them, and there are maybe 6 regular cards in my wallet that I use for spending. All of them except for 2 are no longer available. You can't get those cards anymore. And it's interesting because these are cards that I got while they were still available that I thought were good, and that at times it was recommended by creators on YouTube or by blogs that I'd read. But in other cases, these cards weren't recommended by other people at all. In fact, many other people were very critical of some of these cards and thought they weren't all that good compared to the competition. Yet now, all this time later, and this is particularly true with one of my cards, 5 years I've had this card and it hasn't been available. And at the time I got it, very few people were recommending it. They didn't think it was a very good card, primarily because it doesn't have, quote, travel protections. But the card earns 5X on airfare and 5X unlimited on dining, and then has a lot of great credits and perks on it that kind of make up for the annual fee above and beyond what I pay. And I got that card just a few months before they discontinued the card, and I've had it ever since. And now people often say, man, I wish I had that card. And I'm talking about the Citi Prestige Card. And I hear all the time, wow, I wish I had the Citi Prestige card. I'd do anything to be able to product change to that card. And it's interesting because anybody could have gotten the card back in 2021, and yet very, very few people seem to have gotten it and kept it all these years because there was just a consensus around YouTube and the blogs and all the information streams that the card wasn't very good. But I looked at the card at the time and determined this card is awesome for me because we eat out a lot. We buy a lot of airfare because I get reimbursed on a lot of my airfare from work. And so, wow, 5X unlimited on both of those categories is just industry leading. And then I had to evaluate for myself, do I care about travel protections? And I have never in 20 plus years of traveling had to use travel protections. So it's like, well, yes, I guess I'm giving up something that's very minor and very, very unlikely that I would ever need to use. Now, other people's circumstances may be different. That's why I'm saying that we all have to evaluate for ourselves. But I have been so grateful through the years that I pulled the trigger on that card before it was too late. And I've been able to hang on to it, still use it to this day, every single day. The other cards in my wallet that are discontinued are the Citi Custom Cash Cards. We have 3 of them. And those 3 cards are all designated. Now that card, remember, gives 5X in one category of your choice up to $500 a month in spend. And those points can be combined with my Prestige card. They could also be combined with like a Citi Strata Premier card or a Citi Strata Elite card and transferred out to partners. And back when I first got my first Custom Cash and my Prestige, American Airlines wasn't even a partner with Citibank. And so Citibank points became just infinitely more valuable once they got American Airlines. So here's a situation where I had some cards that maybe people didn't love their transfer partners. Maybe they didn't think that travel protections weren't very good and all of that. So people passed on it. But then the ecosystem got better after the card was discontinued and no longer available for new applicants. And so what I'm getting at in all of this is that as you look at your overall setup and you're trying to determine what cards do I need, look at your own individual circumstances. Look at what works for you, not necessarily what is recommended by the quote experts, and determine, does this fit my lifestyle? Does this fit my use cases? And I'm going to get good value out of this. And pull the trigger while things are still available. Get the card while you can. Don't put it off and say, well, I'll think about it forever, because forever may never come about. The next thing you know, you may wake up and that card has been canceled for new applicants. It does happen. It just happened with the Wells Fargo Attune card. But again, those people that have the card are going to be able to use it for 4X in like a whole broad spectrum of really strange categories that aren't really included on other cards. 4X. That is a great card. And so people who have that card get to keep it. And so I know all those people with the Attune card are really, really happy they pulled the trigger on the card while they could and got it while it was still available to them. So consider this. There could be a day if you're looking at cards and you're saying, well, this other one has a little bigger sign-up bonus, or this other one has a few more benefits, or, experts are telling me that this card's better than this card. Yeah, with all of that factored in, just remember, there's also the unknown time crunch of, will these cards always be available or will they not? And look at what card works best for you and will work best for you for the long term. That's what you got to look at. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you'll consider my channel memberships. I have RM Insiders. It's $2.99 a month, and I do early release videos. So most of my videos come out a little early for my channel members, and I also do special dedicated videos for channel members. And I have at least one of those videos every week. So that's the perks of being an RM Insider. But then I have a top tier, Spreadsheet Warriors. And there's quite a few now. I mean, close to a dozen Spreadsheet Warriors in my membership plan. And we get together once or twice a month for a Zoom session where we can talk face-to-face live over Zoom, ask questions. And the great thing about it is you're not just interacting with me and being able to ask me questions and strategize and plan. You're being able to interact with other people who are at a high level and playing this game on the top tier of what's available and what can be done. And so it's a great, great resource. So look at both of those. Consider them if you will. Thanks for being here today. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you here next time.